Oh my goodness, I forgot. Claire. Hi everybody. Hello. Kilivezi mangina. Kupela umpe mangina. Hello, hello. Thank you for being here. There's just one last thing I forgot to take care of. And I'm already live. So I just need that tray, that stand of earrings, so that I can be able to show God's people over here. Hi everybody. How are you? How was your day? I am live on 2 platforms, so if you see me shifting, thank you very much. I just need to make sure. Okay, let me see over here. Are you still with me? Are you still with me? Okay, yeah, much better. Please put this away. Hey guys, it's the first time I'm live on 2 platforms, so I'm live on YouTube and TikTok, YouTube and TikTok. So yeah, it's a first time experience, and I'm trusting that all is gonna go well. This TikTok filter is filtering, eh? So if you guys are on TikTok, check me on YouTube. I mean on TikTok. And if you are on YouTube, check me on YouTube. Subscribe, follow. Hi everybody. I'm officially live on 2 platforms. Hello everybody. Good evening. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me here this evening. It may look easy, but sometimes it's nerve-wracking to come on here and talk to the people of God. You know, I always talk about how we are here for you. Me and God are here for you. I personally do not do this for myself. I would like to believe also that I'm not doing it by myself. I am doing it with the King of Kings, the one who has sent me to come and communicate his heart to his people concerning issues in his people's lives that they are facing, issues of brokenness, and really what God wants to accomplish, what he seeks to do with the brokenness that his people are facing. Why should you continue to live in brokenness when there is the healer? And why should you seek the healing of the soul outside of the one who has created the soul? So one of the things I usually talk about is motherhood. As you may know, I went live on YouTube the other day, and I was talking about where do babies come from. Where do babies come from, if you can tell me? So I'm live on 2 platforms, so if you see my eyes going to and fro, you know why. But if you can just let me in on where do babies come from. Where do you think babies come from, honestly? Is it just biology that has brought all of us here? At which point do we get to realize that a human being is a human being? When by the time they are adults, or from the word go, or what? Okay, that's what that's basically the foundation of my message, to say we really need to be careful in rejecting people or in evaluating where babies come from, and in passing judgment to people who seem to be becoming parents, who seem to be coming into this world of motherhood at a time where it doesn't seem like it's ideal, or their situations and circumstances do not align. First of all, I want to say this from my own personal experience. When a girl or a woman falls pregnant and they are unmarried and their situations are not necessarily aligned with regards to their finances or where they are in life, it can throw a person off a little bit. And before people pass judgment, like, oh yeah, you know what, didn't you know that this action leads to pregnancy? You should have thought about that before you hopped onto the bed. You should have thought about that before you... There are so many things that we say about these young girls or these young women who fall pregnant outside of favorable circumstances. And, with all due respect, what is amazing to me is just because someone carries the evidence of the fact that they were with someone in that most intimate way, and the evidence is showing in a form of them being pregnant, it does not mean that those who are passing judgment have not been in the same situation. And if I can be explicit, because I would like to believe that people who are watching these videos are adults and you have been through life in your own right. If I can be explicit, just because a condom did not break, it does not mean that it's you. It's not you who could have been in the same situation where you are pregnant and unprepared for it. Just because you are on birth control, it does not mean that you were actually safe and you took the right steps. It doesn't mean that you were responsible, honestly. Why do I say that? Because what the word of God requires of us across the board, I have never seen that the Lord says he recommends a condom as a way of birth control. I have never seen that it's promoted for anyone to engage in sexual activities outside of the covenant of marriage. It's very important to understand. I say this because I became a mother young, and it was somewhat out of unfavorable circumstances, as we would label them. And from my own experience, it's so painful to realize that what happened a long time ago, thousands of years ago, is still happening today. We are so quick to stone the woman. We are so quick to cancel the woman, to write off these young girls. We are so quick to label them irresponsible. We are so quick to label them and to even reject them. We reject them out of our societies, out of our families, and most of them finds themselves destitute. They find themselves at a worse situation, and when we do that, we are exposing them to even more harm. We are exposing them to these people who will take advantage of that situation. And what I know from experience is that when something like that happens, what this young girl needs is support, number one. What this young girl needs is understanding. What this young girl does not need is rejection, judgment from people who woke up from the bed of fornication themselves, but because it didn't leave evidence. How do I wake up with a man in the morning who did not marry me and come on here and see someone who has an evidence of the action that she has done and pass judgment to them? How do I do that? When in actual fact, when God looks at all of us, what he sees is people who need to repent before him for what we have done, and that is coming into covenant with people that we are not married to. So I am here to extend that, to say, I understand that right now you may be grown, your children may be grown as well. Perhaps your situations and circumstances improved in that initially you were not married and now you are not married, and whether the person you are married to is the father of the children or not, it's really immaterial. What I have realized is that most people still need to reconcile their past and deal with the trauma that came with being pregnant outside of favorable situations. I'm not even going to attach age to it, because if I'm 21 and I fall pregnant now and I'm not married, the way that people are going to perceive and receive me or perceive and reject me is going to be different from my peer who is also 21 but they are married. So does it have to do with age, or does it have to do with circumstances and situations? If you get what I mean. If I can say this, I realize that in today's world, we sort of like have put a time frame, and rightfully so. I understand that we need to get the first things first right in terms of get education, get married, and so forth. But somehow I feel like we have taken it too far. I feel like we have stretched it too far, and we have put other things to be of priority more than what God actually designed to be of priority. If you think about it, there is a certain age where I know that God doesn't work according to the biological clock in certain exceptional cases. However, there is a time frame allocated to everything. And if you think about the time frame for birthing, you know, the time frame to open the human production factory, right? It ranges from when a woman is young to perhaps maximum in their 40s. Some people go over 40 and so forth, but at that point, sometimes there are complications, or at that point, you don't want to be starting out. Ideally, you want to be probably having your last bonds at that time. Most people get their surprise babies at that time, at that age, 40 and above, and so forth. But in today's world, it's possible to come across someone who is 40 and they don't have children because they needed to start building their career, and because they are not married. So that is justifiable. But what I'm saying is, just because someone is older and they are not they don't have a child, it doesn't mean that the one who had a child young, then they were irresponsible and they were not supposed to. Because in the video that I made on YouTube, I went live there, I was talking about, where do babies come from? Is it a surprise to God when we fall pregnant? Is it, does he only get to know about the baby when the baby gets born? It's like, the Lerato is giving birth today. Oh my goodness, you know what? Let's see what we're gonna do with this baby. Because somehow, you know what, I just wasn't part of this, what Lerato is doing. Meanwhile, there are so many people who are engaging in activities, but a baby is not a result of that. Even after having taken all the precautions that a person can take, there are situations where people still fall pregnant. So where do babies come from? Who makes a check that, yes, I agree that this person can go on earth? And if having children is so random, why is God against abortion? Why is abortion considered murder? Because from the time, Psalm 139, I read Psalm 139, I think it was on Monday or it was on Sunday. I found myself weeping. I cried like a baby reading Psalm 139, because it was talking about how the Lord knew us when we were yet substance. Before we were anything, God knew about us. At which point are we going to appreciate the human beings on earth? Because we have made it such a habit in our families, in our communities, and in our societies to reject people from the time they are not even on earth. We have made it our mission to disqualify. We have made it our mission to be the ones who get to decide who qualifies to be alive and who doesn't. We have really gone over our jurisdiction in terms of life, when we actually can't make a heartbeat, when we actually can't give oxygen. We saw in 2020 when COVID was happening how precious oxygen is, how valuable it is, how it's expensive to generate, but God gives it to us freely. From there, we should have been able to determine already that we have no say as to who should be alive or not. If someone is pregnant and they are young, or whatever the case may be, we have no right to speak negativity, firstly, over the young mother. We have no right to speak death and rejection over the child. I am here to say, how do we get onto that level of God when He is actually the one who is the giver of life? Imagine if it was you. First of all, you personally did not choose the circumstances that you were born into. You didn't choose your parents. You didn't choose the country that you get born into. You did not choose which circumstances you get born into. You found yourself here. And after having found yourself here, you go through life like everybody else, and most of the things that influence you come from your environment and the family that you were born into. And all of that was not a mistake. God knows all about your situations and how you ended up here. He is not surprised. His main thing is that you get to know about him and get to know him for yourself. And after having gotten to know him, allow him to be the one who reveals to you who you are and why he brought you here. From there, you can be able to live your life different from your past generations. From there, you can be able to set things in motions so that your next generations are in a position that is better than you were. However, when things are happening, then now you grow up under the situations that you grow up, whether it was a hard situation or not. The fact is you are still here and you are still breathing, and there is still purpose connected to your breath, and there is still a lot that God can achieve through you. So after having grown up, and now you are a grown man and you are a grown woman, you've been through life, you've experienced a lot of things, you see things happening around you and you wish you could change them. I will not lie. It's painful to see the things that are happening in our communities and in our world. I won't lie to you. It hurts me to see the dysfunction. It hurts me to see the brokenness that is in our world. That's why I come on here to give a message from the Lord concerning the broken pieces in our lives. And one of the things that I came here to address is the issue that we become in other people's lives in a form of passing judgment when that young mom, when that young girl, that young lady falls pregnant. And what about the people that they were together with in the action that led to that pregnancy? Why are we still behaving like the people who behaved in the times of Jesus? They came before Jesus and said, we caught her in adultery. And they didn't say anything about the man. They were ready to kill the woman, only the woman. And Jesus said, if you feel like you have it all together, no problem. You have all the right. You have every right to kill another for their sin. If you are here and you have brought this case to say, this person has been caught in adultery, indeed, she's cheating on her husband. By all means, if you feel like what she has done is worse than what you have done, or if you feel like you have never committed anything at all, and for some reason your situation places you above her, kill her. Throw the stone first. And after you throw the stone, then I hope you find satisfaction. And guess what happened? Everyone walked away. They walked away from Jesus after he passed that judgment. So even today, I am here to advocate for the young mothers. I thank God that he has given me this voice and he has given me this platform. Think about the child that is unborn. Think about the psyche of that young mom. She's trying to figure out, her whole life is going to change. And the thing is, motherhood is not a curse. Parenthood is not a curse, people. People of God, motherhood, parenthood is not a curse. What we need to do is rather be involved in such a way that we get this young people, this young mother, prepared mentally so that they can be able to operate in that role better than they would if we continue to pass judgment onto them. I don't know. You can look around and tell me if our actions and words of judgment has yielded any results. Tell me if the more we judge people who fall pregnant young, the more we hate on them, the more we reject them, the more we label them as whores and prostitutes and promiscuous. Tell me how that has helped. Tell me, because if we are seeking for a community that lives according to the word of God, I'm here for a community that reflects that God is in our midst. If we are going to achieve that, rejecting these people, how is that going to help? If we are going to achieve that, how about we plant new seeds in our society and in our communities, because for that to happen, it shows that there is a brokenness in foundation somewhere, that there is a fundamental thing as well that this person did not get, either at home or wherever. And whatever it is that they were searching along the way, they ended up opening themselves up to some people who did not have their best interest at heart. And as a result, they married themselves off without even realizing what they are doing. And the thing is, when God allows a human being to come on earth, that person that we are rejecting comes with a solution, comes with a potential to be the one who turns around situations in that bloodline. And it becomes a problem when we are the ones who position ourselves to be the ones who reject people of God, people that God created. We all belong to God. When we position ourselves to be the ones who reject people before they are born, we are not only setting those people up for failure, but we are setting our communities and our nations up for failure. Because what's going to happen is, because we are spiritual beings, this person already knows that they are not wanted. There is a psyche, this is a whole person who is inside the womb, but they are able to interpret what is happening outside the womb. That's why they always tell the mother must not stress out. The environment that the mother is in, the baby knows it. That is already a sign that childbirth is a miracle. The formation of a human being is a miracle. It's not something small. We cannot limit the production of family only to the biological factors. There is something greater than just the biological factor that is involved in the formation and the production of a human being. And so because they are so aware of themselves, of God, of their spirit, and of everything that is happening around them, by the time they get onto the earth, they already have formed how earth looks like and where they fall into the scheme of things. And they somehow come with a consciousness of them not being wanted. And so we find that there is rejection at the foundation of this person's life. And throughout their life, we wonder why a person gets into their adulthood, they graduate out of college, and nobody wants them. They can't be hired anywhere. Wherever they go, whatever they apply, they are rejected. Because from the time they were in the womb, they were not wanted. They conceived rejection. And we wonder why they experience emotional dysfunction and they are disconnected and they are struggling in life because of the things that were planted in those people's lives. So I want to just ask you, if you were the one who was born from a relationship that was not married, would you want to be treated like that? Would you want your mother to be treated like that? And if that is not the treatment that you want for yourself, because that person didn't choose to be here, and so if that's not what you want for yourself, then don't do it to somebody else. How do you think things will be? How different will things be if we turned things around and did the opposite? That when someone fell pregnant, we extended our support to them, our understanding to them, and also provided education as to how can they navigate this new role of motherhood and help them transition from being this youth to being now not just youth, but to being a young parent or to being a young mother and a young father. The reason why these men, these boys and these young men run away from their responsibilities is because we have labeled being a parent as the most difficult thing on earth. And because the mother is the one who carries the baby, it's hard for them to just decide, I'm going to part ways with this baby. And those who are not strong enough end up aborting the baby because they already saw how others around them are treated, so they don't want to subject themselves to that. If they don't abort the baby, they end up leaving the babies in the dustbins, dropping a whole human being in the dustbin. And when they do that, again, we come back and judge and be like, what kind of mother would drop a child in the dustbin? The kind of mother who has heard all the hateful voices from the community and from the family, judging her about how he has been in the bed with the father of the baby. from the very same person who woke up from the bed of fornication. Just because she doesn't have evidence to show for what has happened, now she feels like, you hear people like, I didn't send you to go and sleep with that man. I didn't send you to go and do that and do that. These are the things that we say to each other, as if we have it all together in all our areas in life. So I wonder how it would be in our communities and in our societies if we harnessed an attitude and a spirit of love and support for each and every human being. And I will come on here and talk about diseases on some day, because these are the things we do to people who are living with HIV as well. But today I'm not here for that. We are so quick to talk about how irresponsible they were, how they were supposed to know how to do this and that. We are just so quick to label people. When we see someone is going through a mental illness or a mental disease, we cancel them. We talk about how we don't want them close to us. We talk about how toxic people are, how narcissistic people are, whereas they were not born like that. And I'm not saying that we need to tolerate wrong behavior or promote it. We need to be careful about how we talk about people. Because some of the things that lead to people being a certain way and doing certain things is because they are afraid. They can't even communicate with anybody because of how they have heard someone who is in the same situation being spoken about. If someone experiences the symptoms of depression now, chances are they will not be able to communicate it to their circle, because of the way they have heard their circle talk about people who are on therapy or people who are on depression medication. So how is it that we are a people who do not support each other and who do not extend grace to each other? How is it that today someone who is in your circle cannot reach out to you when they are experiencing problems? How can we position ourselves in such a way that we become the support that we need for other people? We become that soft cushion for soft landing, that someone can be able to pick up the phone and tell you that, hey, I'm struggling, I'm experiencing these symptoms. They shouldn't think twice. They shouldn't think, oh, my situation is going to be on social media. Oh, you know what, these people talk bad about this category of people. Are we the people? Are you the one that you can call? If you think about how you handle other people's issues, can people call you? Can you come to yourself? The way that you handle others, do you feel like you can come to yourself? So how is it that if you don't trust your own self with your issues, other people can be able to trust you? Okay, I'm not saying trust everybody and go around telling your whole business. What I'm saying is we need to position ourselves in such a way that we are soft landing and we are that support for others, so that we can reduce the level of suicide in our communities and societies, so that we can extend love and grace. I feel like we can be able to do this. I feel like we can do this if we can think about it from a human perspective, that we are all human beings. And what life throws at me or what life throws at you, sometimes you don't choose. And what happens to me today it does not necessarily mean that it would not happen to you tomorrow. And so we want to be very careful as to how do we speak about people's situations. How do we speak about these young mothers in particular? What gives us the right to talk about how they were sleeping around and talk about all of that when we actually are still in need of righteous living and still in need of repentance in so many areas in our lives? What I'm saying is, let us position ourselves in such a way that we are being used of God, and it doesn't seem as if we are out here and being agents of the enemy or being agents of Satan. If what's going to come out of my mouth is going to want to make somebody go kill themselves because of something that they did, as if there is no hope. If God can give purpose to a man who killed a human being, what about all these other things that have happened? He took a man who killed a human being and said, I'm going to make a leader out of you. In fact, he was already born for the purpose that he served. It's just that he allowed what he did to be the deciding factor in terms of how far he can go in life. And God does not look at us according to what we have done. He looks at us according to who he created us to be and who he wants us to be in this earth. He doesn't look at us as the things that we have done. No, when he looks at you, he sees that potential that he put in you. He doesn't look at you through your lens. He doesn't look at you through all the judgmental lenses that you have come across on earth. And because we look at others a certain way, sometimes it limits us because we feel like everyone else is looking at us the way we look at everyone else. There's also that factor. The reason why you can be crippled and in your movements is because you are passing the same judgment to yourself as you pass to other people. So imagine if we can live in a world where we are just harnessing positivity, where we are supporting each other. And if it so happens that someone slips up and falls in whatever area, we are able to extend a hand and say, let me be the one who helps you up. Instead of holding a stone and saying, I'm going to be the first one to take you out. I'm going to be the first one to show you how much of a mess you are. I'm gonna be the first one to show how much you have messed up. Look at how soiled you are. Go clean yourself up. We can't be saying such things to ourselves, because if I can say it to you, it means I'm saying it to myself, because things turn around. Today it's me who is in a situation, and if I'm not treated right, it does not mean I'm going to end up there. And I'm coming on here, I'm talking from experience. There are certain things that I have been through, people of God. You cannot imagine being pregnant and asking for food in the neighborhood, how that feels like. You cannot imagine being pregnant and being rejected by everyone. And God is the one who comes and say, listen, I got you. Not only you, but even the unborn baby that is in your tummy. I know all about this life. At that point, I don't even know her gender. I don't even know what I'm going to do with her after she lands on earth. But now, looking back, the things that I have come to learn is that oxygen is very expensive. In fact, it's priceless. God doesn't just give out like that purposelessly. He is too purposeful to be random about life, especially not about life. So just because I was not prepared or I didn't plan it in my own plans, it does not mean that he didn't know about the human being that he has birthed for his purpose. Even if that purpose is to come and correct me and fix my life, even if this person was actually born for me, that is purpose. So just because you don't know the purpose of the life that someone else is carrying, it does not mean that you need to position yourself in such a way that you can say a certain who needs to be on earth and who doesn't need to be on earth. Just because they had sex out of marriage and a child came out of it, it does not give you any right to talk about whether they are qualified to be on earth or not. Let us go back to being respectful to God and to people. Just because that person is young and she is pregnant, it does not mean there is no future for her. And by the way, we need to train up our baby boys in such a way that they grow up knowing what the heart of God is in terms of family. Grow up knowing the power that they carry as boys and the power that they need to display when they become men at a later stage. Raise them in such a way that they will see the value in a woman, that a woman is not a tool for their satisfaction, but a woman was created for partnership. These are the things that they are supposed to learn at home. And if they are going to learn that at home, it means that information must be at home. So then it means it forces us as parents to grow up and be knowledgeable about what God wants. Like, this thing of playing around in life. I had somebody say, this preacher saying, life is not a game. And I agree completely. We are not here to play. But I feel like sometimes we play more than we actually do the things that we are supposed to do. There is time for everything under heaven. There is time to play and there is time to build. So we cannot be playing the whole time and not taking life seriously and expect the results that are going to reflect different. And if we are going to build our children up, we need to be built up ourselves. And that is the thing that has been the greatest challenge to me. Parenthood is not a curse. The moment I became a parent, I was not cursed. And parenthood is not punishment. And parenthood is not burdensome. We need to take away these stigmas from parenthood so that people can stop running away from their responsibilities. Parenthood is a responsibility. Parenthood is an honor. If you are a man and you impregnate someone, you have duplicated yourself and multiplied yourself. How does it help you and how does it honor you and the Creator to run away from your own seed? How do you go through life and sleep peacefully, knowing that there is a human being that has been created by your seed and they need your care and your direction, and you are not there to provide that? In these days, like, we can even forget about provision of the food and everything, which is also important, but it takes more than just that. That's why you can see that a woman can go and get the money, but a woman cannot be a man. A mother can go and fend for her children, but a mother cannot be the father. And God, in his graciousness, he comes and he fills the gaps and he compensates. And he plays the role of being a father to all, because he is a father to all. He is a father to those who have both father and mother, and he is a father to those who have been left and rejected by those who are supposed to care for them. There is a reason why God gave children both mother and father, both mom and dad. So we shouldn't be in a situation where we are the reason why the model of God is broken. And the only way to prevent this is to just stay away from things that are going to put us in unfavorable situations. So the moment you learn a lesson in life, be the one who will position your whole family not to be affected by it. And what I mean by that is, instead of labeling these people, these young women who fall pregnant young, how about we extend support and education in such a way that what has happened to them ends with them, that there is not a perpetual thing that happens where children are being born out of marriage. It doesn't help to pass judgment without giving the solution. The moment there is a problem and we highlight the problem, we are actually exasperating the problem. We are not providing the solution. So we are putting fuel on what could potentially be fire. But I don't want to label the life of a human being fire. I don't know. I will say the circumstances are the ones that will need to be rescued. But as far as life is concerned, please, people of God, let's put the value that God places on life, on life. Let's put that value back on life, and not be the ones who say things that we are not supposed to be saying concerning the life that God has allowed to come on earth. Okay. And so if you like the earrings that I'm wearing, I am the only one on earth who has these earrings at the moment. They are part of our new collection. My daughter has an earring business and she made these ones for me. And it comes from her collection. This is what she does. And if you would like to know more about it, you can leave a comment for me and I will give you the link to her shop. So she has an online store and we deliver to wherever you are. This is a gifting season, so you can grab yourself a pair for your loved ones and gift a beautiful gift that is unique, and support South African businesses. Okay, the very same child that they rejected, I am wearing the earrings from her business today. Don't ever write off a human being, ever. Don't ever write off a human being. Just because the mother is 14, it does not mean you have a right to say whether that life is supposed to come on earth or not. You are not the one who causes that heart to beat. You are not the one who provides oxygen. Don't be a contributor to problems in the community and in society. Be the one who extends education and support and love and understanding. And be the one who says, in order for us to move forward in a different way, what can we do? Provide solutions, not problems. And if there's anything along the solution lines that you can say, then perhaps don't put yourself in a situation where something comes out of your mouth if it's going to do more harm than good. Today, I am wearing, I never would have thought, I always had a love for earrings. And I was thinking, how can I have all the earrings I want in the world? I'm spoiled for choice. So many choices in my home of earrings I can wear from the very child that was rejected by everybody. Nobody wanted her. Nobody wanted us. Starting with the one who provided the seed to my own family and other people that actually are not actually important. And this is not the first. Jesus Christ was also not wanted. The moment Herod heard that Jesus is coming, his head was spinning and he was thinking of how much Jesus is a threat. So sometimes people don't want your child because of how much they are a threat. They hold potential to turn your bloodline situations around. And so if a child can start a business at 13, that is already a bloodline, a curse broken. Okay, so we really thank God. I'm not here to talk about my daughter and how well she's doing and everything. She's a normal child, like she's a human being. However, I'm highlighting that imagine if I had aborted her. Imagine if I had given her up for adoption. Imagine if I had thrown her in the dustbin, of which I was not gonna do. I didn't have it in myself to be able to do that. But there are people who have done that, and they have missed out on the opportunity and the sweetness of parenthood. We shouldn't shun parenthood in that way. So without repeating myself again and again and again, I hope you have learned something. I didn't get a chance to get to know who has been on here in terms of you know, to see if there are any comments even. This is pretty much my second time here on the live, so I'm still familiarizing myself with how things work around here. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. This brings us to the end of our live. I hope I can be able to come on here as regularly as possible. It has been good to hang out with you. May the Lord bless you and keep you and make his countenance shine upon you. May he perfect all things concerning you. May he help you gather the broken pieces in your life. And may he be the one who mends them and present them back to you healed and whole. Thank you for hanging out with me. See you soon. See you soon. So I have signed out of TikTok. Let me sign out of YouTube. I feel like I was looking at YouTube, TikTok more than I was looking at YouTube. So forgive me. Okay, I know we've been hanging out here for like a month now. Yes, since the beginning of November. Let's give God a hand. And thank you so much for being here all the time. You know, I always have beautiful things for you in that description. Go and have a look at the description and click all the links that are in the description because they are there for you and for your benefit, including the links for these earrings and including the links to join our mailing list so that you can receive all the intimate information I have to share with the people who are in our healing nation, and also so that you can be able to gain access to the link. We will deliver this to you this December for your gifts. Okay, so when I'm saying this December, today is the 28th. If you buy today, you will get your earrings on the 1st of December. That's what I mean. So yeah, thank you, people of God. Okay, thank you so much for being here. See you soon. Subscribe, share the video. Subscribe and share the video. Okay, thank you.